The truth about ability and accomplishment. Chapter 3 of Mindset. Mhm. Try to picture Thomas Edison as vividly as you can. Think about where he is and what he is doing. Is he alone? I asked people, and they always said he's like, is in his workshop, surrounded by equipment. He's working on the phonograph, trying things. He succeeds by equipment. He is working on the phonograph, trying things. He succeeds. Is he alone? Yes, he is doing this stuff alone because he's the only one. But he's after his in New Jersey. He's standing in a white coat in a lab type room. He's cleaning over a light bulb. Suddenly it works. Is he alone? Yes, he's kind of a reclusive guy who likes to tinker on his own. In truth, the record shows quite different Jello working in quite a different mm, way. Edison was no longer a not Edison was not a loner. For the invention of the light bulb, here 30 assistants, including well-trained scientists. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Uh, 30 assistants, including well-trained scientists, often working around the clock in a corporate-funded state-of-the-art laboratory. It did not happen suddenly. The light bulb was become the symbol of that single moment when the brilliant solution strikes, but there was no single moment of invention. In fact, the light bulb was not one invention but a whole network of time consuming inventions, each requiring one or more chemists, mathematicians, physicists, engineers, and glassblowers. Edison was no naive tinkerer or unworldly egghead. The Wizard of Menlo Park was a savvy entrepreneur, fully aware of the commercial potential of his inventions. He also knew how to cozy up to the press, sometimes beating others, but as the inventor of something because he knew how to purchase himself. Hello, everybody, welcome to the live stream. Like the live stream and hit the subscribe button too if you want. Yes, he was a genius, but he was not always one. His biographer Paul Israel, sifting through all the available information, thinks he was more or less a regular boy of his time and place. Young Tom was taken with experiments and mechanical things, perhaps more widely than most, but machines and technology were part of the ordinary Midwestern boy's experience. What eventually set him apart was his mindset and drive. He never stopped being the curious tinkering boy looking for new challenges long after other young men had taken up their roles in society. He rode the rails from city to city, learning everything he could about telegraphy and working his way up the ladder of telegraphs through non-stop self-education and invention. And later, much to the disappointment of his wives, his consuming love remained self-improvement and invention, but only in his field. There are many myths about ability and achievement, especially about the lone brilliant person suddenly producing amazing things. Yet Darwin's masterwork, The Origin of Species, took years of teamwork in the field, hundreds of discussions with colleagues and mentors, several preliminary drafts, and half a lifetime of dedication before it reached fruition. Oh my god. Mozart labored for more than 10 years until he produced any work that we admire today. Before then, his compositions were not that original or interesting. Actually, they were often patched together chunks taken from other composers. This chapter is about the real ingredients in achievement. It's about why some people achieve less than expected and why some people achieve more. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Mindset and school achievement. Let's step down from the celestial realm of Mozart and Darwin and come back to the earth to see how mindset create the achievement in real life. It's funny, but seeing one student blossom under the growth mindset has greater impact on me than all the stories about Mozart and Darwin. Maybe because it's more about you and me, about what's happened to us and why we are where we are now, and about children and their potential. Back on Earth, we made as they made the transition to junior high school. Did they believe their intelligence was a fixed rate or something they could develop? Then we followed them for the next 2 years. The transition to junior high is a time of great challenge for many students. The work gets much harder, the grading policies toughen up, the teaching becomes less personalized, and all this happen while students are coping with their new adolescent bodies and rules. Kids suffer, but not everyone's kids suffer equally. No, in our study, only the students with the fixed mindset showed the decline. The students with the growth mindset showed an increase in their grades over the 2 years. When the two groups had entered junior high, their past records were indistinguishable. In the one winning winning in the environment of grade school, they had earned the same grades and achievement test scores. Only when they hit the challenge of junior high did they begin to pull apart. Here is how students with the fixed mindset explain their poor grades. Many malign their abilities. I am the stupidest, or I suck in math, and many cover this feeling by blaming someone else. The math teacher is a fat male slut, and the English teacher is slow with the pink ass. Because the teacher is on crack. This interesting analogy of the problem wholly provide a roadmap to future success. With the threat of failure looming, students with the growth mindset instead mobilized their resources for learning. They told us that they too sometimes felt overwhelmed, but their response was to dig in and do what it takes. They were like who George Denji was a graduate student in math at Berkeley. One day, as usual, he rushed in late to his math class and quickly copied the two homework problems from the blackboard. He later went to do them, he found them very difficult, and it took him several days of hard work to crack them open and solve them. They turned out not to be homework problems at all. They were two famous math problems that had never been solved. The low effort syndrome. Our students with the fixed mindset who were facing the hard transition saw it as a threat, threatened to unmask their flaws and turn them from winners into losers. In fact, in the fixed mindset, adolescence is one big test. Am I smart or dumb? Am I good looking or ugly? Am I cool or nerdy? Am I winner or a loser? And in the fixed mindset, a loser is forever. It's no wonder that may adolescents mobilize their resources not for learning but to protect their egos. And one of the main ways they do this, aside from providing vivid portraits of the teacher, is by not trying. This is when some of the brightest students, just like Nadza Salerino, Sonen work, simply stop working. Oh my god. Oh, welcome to the live stream. Hi. One. In fact, students with the fixed mind tell us that their main goal in school, aside from looking smart, is to exert as little effort as possible. They heartily agree with statements like this. In school, my main goal is to do things as easily as possible, so I don't have to work very hard. Too. This low effort syndrome is often seen as a way that adolescents assert their independence from adults, but it is also a way that students with the fixed mindset protect themselves. They view the adults as saying, "No, we will measure you and see what you have got," and they are answering, "No, you won't." John Hall, the great educator, says that these are the games all human beings play when others are sitting in judgment. Oh my god. The worst I have ever encountered was in his life outside the classroom, as mature, intelligent, and interesting a person as anyone at the school. What went wrong? Somewhere along the line, his intelligence became disconnected from his schooling. For students with the growth mindset, it doesn't make sense to stop trying. For them, adolescence sorry, is a time of opportunity, a time to learn new subjects, a time to find out what they like and what they want to become in the future. Later, I will describe the project in which we taught junior high students the growth mindset. But what I want to tell you now is how teaching them this mindset unleashed their effort. One day, we were introducing the growth mindset to a new group of students. All at once, Jimmy, the most hard core turned off low effort kid in the group, looked up with tears in his eyes, and said, "You mean I don't have to be dumb?" From that day on, he worked. He started staying up late to do his homework, which he never used to bother with at all. He started handling in assignments early so he could get feedback and revise them. He now believed that working hard was not something that made you vulnerable, but something that made you smarter. 6. Finding your brain. A close friend of mine recently handed me something. He had written a poem story that reminded me of Jimmy and his unleashed effort. My friend's second grade teacher, Missy Bear, had each student draw and cut out a paper horse. She then lined up all the horses above the blackboard and delivered her growth mindset message. Your horse is only as fast as your brain. Every time you learn something, your horse will move ahead. My friend wasn't sure about the brain thing. His father had always told him, "You have too much mouth and too little brains for your own good." Plus, his horse seemed to just sit at the starting gate, while everyone else brains joined the learning chase, especially the brains of Hank and Billy, the class geniuses, whose horse jumped away ahead of everyone else. But my friend kept at it to improve his skills. He kept reading the comics with his mother, and he kept adding up the points when he played gin drumming with his grandmother. And soon my sleek stallion bolted forward like beetle away, and there was no one who was going to stop him. Over the weeks and months, he flew forward, overtaking others one by one. In this late spring home stretch, Hank's and Billy's mounts were ahead by just a few subtraction exercise, and when the last bell of school rang, my horse won by a nose. Then I knew I had a brain. I had the horse to prove it. Paul Wortman. Of course, learning shouldn't really be a race, but this race helped my friend discover his brain and connect it up to his schooling. The college transition. Another crisis. College is when all the students who were the brains in high school are thrown together, like our graduate students. Yesterday they were king of the hill, but today who are they? No, now where is the anxiety of being dethroned more palpable than in pre-med classes? In the last chapter, I mentioned our study of tenth but hopeful undergraduates taking their first college chemistry course. This is the course that would give them or deny them entry to the pre-med curriculum, and it's well known that students will go to almost any lengths to do well in this course. At the beginning of the semester, oh shit, my phone just fell off. I'm sorry for that. I smart. What the fuck? Oh. At the beginning of the semester, we measure students' mindset. Wait for a while. Where is that hell? Net. And then we followed them through the course, watching their grades and asking about their study strategies. Once again, we found that the students with the earned better grades in the course. Even when they did poorly on a particular test, they bounced back on the next ones. When students with the fixed mindset did poorly, they didn't make a comeback. In this course, I will divide study, but there are different ways to study. Many students study like this: they read the textbook and their class notes. If the material is really hard, they read them again, or they might try to memorize everything they can, like a vacuum cleaner. That's how the students with the fixed mind studied. If they did poorly on the test, they concluded that chemistry was not the subject. After all, I did everything for possible, didn't I? Far from it, they would be shocked to find out what students with the growth mindset do. Find it remarkable. The students with growth mindset can completely took charge of their learning and motivation instead of plunging into unthinkable memorization of the course material. They said, "I looked for themes and underlying principles across lectures, and I went over mistakes until I was certain I understood them." They were studying to learn, not just to ace the test. And actually, this was why they got higher grades, not because they were smarter or had a better background in science. Instead of losing their motivation when the course got dry or difficult, they said, "I maintained my Till I stayed positive about taking chemistry. I kept myself motivated to study, even if they thought the textbook was boring or the instructor was stiff. They didn't let their motivation evaporate. They just made it all the more important to motivate themselves. I got an from one of my undergraduate students shortly after I had taught her the growth mindset. Here is how she was refused to study before when faced with really tough material. I tended to read the material over and over. Learning the growth mindset, she started using better strategies that worked. Professor Dweck, when he had the teaching assistant told me my exam results today, I didn't know. I just sit down here, it will tell you I looked like I won the lottery and I see that way too. I cannot believe I did so well. I expected to scrape by the encouragement you have given me will serve me well in life. I feel that I have earned a noble grade, but I didn't earn it alone. Professor Dweck, you not only teach you your theory, you show it. Thank you for the lesson. It is valuable one, perhaps the most valuable I have learned at Columbia, and yeah, I will be doing that, using these strategies before every exam. Thank you very much, and you too. No longer helpless, June. Because they think in terms of learning, people with the growth mindset are clued into all the different ways to create learning. It's odd our pre-med students with the fixed mindset would do almost anything for a good grade, except take charge of a passage to make sure it happens. I don't care how many pages I'm reading. It's such created equal. Does this mean that anyone with the right mindset can do well? Are all children created equal? Let's take the second question first. No, some children are different. Gifted children ill and winner offer incredible description of prodigies. These are children who seem to be born with heightened abilities and obsessive interest, and who through relentless pursuit of this interest became amazingly accomplished. Michael was one of those, one of the most precious. He constantly played games involving letters and numbers, made his parents answer endless questions about letters and numbers, and spoke read and did math at unlevel early age. Michael's mother reports that at 4 months old, he said, Mom, Dad, what's for dinner? At 10 months, he astounded people in the supermarket by reading words from the signs. Everyone assumed his mother was doing some kind of bentologism thing. His father reports that at 3, he was not only doing algebra but discovered reading and proving algebraic rules. Each day, when his father not got home from work, Michael would pull him toward math books and say, Dad, let's go do work. Michael must have started with a special ability, but for me, the most outstanding feature in his extreme love of learning and challenge, his parents could not tear him away from his demanding activities. The same is true for every prodigy. Winner described most of often people believe that the gift is the ability itself, that but fears it is that constant endless curiosity and challenge seeking. Hello, welcome to the live stream. It is ability or mindset. Was it Mozart's musical ability or the fact that he worked till his hands were deformed? Was it Darwin's scientific ability or the fact that he collected specimens non-stop from early childhood? Prodigies or not, we all have interests that can blossom into abilities. As a child, I was fascinated by people, especially adults. I wonder what makes them tick. In fact, a few years back, one of my cousins reminded me of an episode that took place when we were 5 years old. We were at my grandmother's house, and he had had a big fight with his mother over when he would eat his candy. Later, we were sitting outside on the front steps, and I said to him, "Don't be so stupid. Adults like to think they are in charge. Just say yes and then eat your candy when you want to." But those the words of a budding psychologist. All I know is that my cousin told me this advice served him well. Interestingly, he became a dentist. Hello, welcome to the live stream. You can say something in the comment. Currently, I'm reading Mindset by Carol, Dr. Carol S. Dweck. She's an she's an female author. Such an amazing book on mindset. You should give a read to it, and it can change your life. Now back to the first question: is everyone capable of great things with the right mindset? Could you march into the worst high school in your state and teach the students college calculus? If you could, then one thing would be clear: with the right mindset and the right teaching, people are capable of a lot more than we think. Garfield High School was one of the worst schools in Los Angeles. To say that the students were turned off and the teachers weren't is an understatement. But without thinking twice, Jamie Escalante of Stand and Deliver fame taught these inner city Hispanic students, college level calculus with his growth mindset. How can I teach them? Not can I teach them, and how will they learn? West not can they learn? But not only did he teach them calculus, he and his college colleague Benjamin Jimenez took them to the top of the national charts in the math. In 1987, only three other public schools in the country had more students taking the advanced placement calculus test. Those three included Stuyvesant Bazant High School and the Bronx High School of Science, both math and science oriented schools in New York. What's more, most of the Garfield students earned test grades that were high enough to gain them college graduates. In the whole country that year, only a few hundred Mexican American students passed the test at this level. This means there is a lot of intelligence out there being wasted by underestimating students' potential to develop. Oh, nice. I think I had read 10 pages. Yeah, I did. It's not boring and it's such an amazing thing, but yeah. Hello, welcome to the live stream. There is another one. I don't want to follow where I am. The heart of it, stone age, stony maze. The heart of a stony maze. 15. Yeah, I knew that. As a loyal Hindu wife, I do not wish to complain of my husband, but I turn from his materialistic views. He delights in ridiculing the picture of suns in my meditation room. Dear brother, I have the faith that you can help him. Will you? My elder sister Roma gazed wishingly at me. I was paying a short visit at her Grish Vidya Radhana Lane here pleased me, for she had exercised a profound spiritual influence over me and had lovingly tried to fill the void left in the family circle by mother's death. Beloved sister, of course, I will do anything I can. Smiled, eager to lift the gloom plainly visible on her face. In contrast to her usual calm and cheerful expression, Roma and I sat a while in silent prayer for guidance. A year earlier, my sister had asked me to initiate her in Kriya Yoga, in which she was making notable progress. And inspiration seized me tomorrow. I said, I am going to the temple of Kali in Dakshineshwar. Please come with me and persuade your husband to accompany us. I feel that in the vibration of that holy place, Divine Mother will touch his heart, but don't disclose our object in wanting him to go. Sister agreed hopefully. Very early the next morning, I was pleased to find that Roma and her husband were in readiness for the trip. As our hackney carriage rattled along upper circular road toward Dakshineshwar, my brother-in-law Satish Chandra was amused himself by deriding the worth of gurus. I noticed that Roma was quietly beeping. Sister, cheer up, I whispered, don't give you spend the satisfaction of believing that we take his mockery seriously. Mukundan, how can you admire worthless humbugs? Satish was saying a Sadhu's very appearance is repulsive. He is either as thin as skeleton or as unholy fat as an elephant. Then this one also done. Now my target is to complete 10 more emails. I'm just doing. I don't care about results. I believe in myself, and I just believe in myself. That's it. This is by Michael Lee Ota. Something urgent. It's official open. Here is a 7-day plan to expand your visibility and attract quality health coaching clients without using social media. It's about human connection over algorithm videos or tacky stuff from inside the right room. I will show you how to get into the rooms, local or virtual, where you are. People already I have done this so many times as a health coach and even now 70 years into my business. So that was just go to expert in no hugs there. In this life intact event, you will get the exact workshop strategy I have used for years, mapped out into a 7-day plan that will drive results for the rest of 2026 and frankly well beyond. It feels so good to actually talk to people, help human, and step away from the noise of social media. Originally, I created this for empowering members, but this week I am opening it up so you can join as a special guide. It will be 299 after this initial raise, but for the next 8 hours only, you can get in for just 49. We have the right room here for only after today at 5 p.m. ETI will be $69. If you have been trying to grow your audience online and feel invisible, you are in good company. I have worked with India myself. Really good. I believe I did that and I just completed it. Hello, you are watching me from a random place of this world. Yeah, say hi. And just 1 minute ago, I received a message. Your buyer isn't questioning your value, they are questioning the risk. Hey, Rakesh. Oh my god, I have to. Your high ticket buyers aren't evaluating your value, they are evaluating their risk. Is everything about how you program needs to be position. I can usually tell within 5 minutes. Client by their 3K to 10 group of region skill into enrollment. The client's period is the best program they have. Job program that will got a port of using perceived risk if you want to go to that. Testimonial and fast action one is the decision should feel obvious, but that's now not how sophisticated buyers are making buy decisions in today's market. At this level, trust is prerequisite of even being an option of consideration. If someone is even considering a high ticket group program, they already believe you are competent, they already believe you can deliver value. What they are quickly asking answered is, I trust her, but what happens if this doesn't work for me? That question gets louder when the buyer is experienced, discerning, and already has a history of investing in coaching or education. Before some of them ever even work, just not in the way they needed. That is why I see coaches burning themselves trying to force enrollments through multi-layered live launches or prematurely running paid ads. They are trying to market hesitation instead of addressing it directly. The problem isn't visibility; it's vulnerability. On the buyer side, when your promise is vague, philosophical, or overly broad, the buyer who has to mentally fill in the gaps. They have to imagine how it applies to them. They have to take on the risk of interpretation. And at 3K to 10K, most people won't do that. This is where bold claims and guarantees become less about marketing tactics and more about decision support. A strong claim but doesn't say this will work for everyone. It says this is exactly what the problem is designed to do and who it's designed for. A guarantee doesn't make your offer reckless. It makes it precise. When you are willing to stand behind specific outcomes, you are confident not just in your delivery but in your program design. You are telling the buyer, I have thought about your risk and I have accounted for it. That is what reduces hesitation. Most coaches don't avoid guarantees because they cannot deliver. They avoid them because make a claim because being definitive, and being definite means you can no longer pretend the program is meant for you. Once the promise is tightened, once the outcome is clear, measurable, and aligned with the right where guarantees become not only possible but make your offer an easy no-brainer. I have worked with coaches who had retention results and after but still couldn't scale past 5 to 6 sales each time they launched a cohort until we revealed the promise and added a claim that reduced perceived risk. There is the work we do inside leverage, starting with the imposition program module, where we define your program promise to reduce perceived risk and make the decision easier for the right buyer. Sales didn't improve because the program changed; they improved because the decision became easier. The risk became non-existent for the buyer. High-ticket buyers don't need more convincing; they need more certainty. If your messaging is focused on explaining the value of the program features instead of protecting your pair from unnecessary risk, that's likely where enrollments are still in your corner and your buyers head. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. It's been 30 minutes sitting in a place, so I'm tired of it. This one is from Monica Shah. Quick check in, Rakeshwar has been felt a little flat lately. Not bad, not broken, just bored. Uninspired, disconnected from the spark that used to make this fun. That doesn't mean you are doing anything wrong. It usually means you have been trying to run your business using logic alone for too long. And logic is brilliant. It is just not designed to bring inspiration, excitement, or flow back online by itself. That's why I want you to register for Watch the Scaling with Spirit training, immediate access, get instant access to replay here for free. Available until this workshop is about reconnecting with guidance that helps your business feel interesting again, not louder, not harder, just clearer and more live. In the workshop, I walk you through three powerful exercises where you get to connect with your spiritual team real time and get immediate answer. Watch before it expires, and this with love and clarity, Monica. There is also special invitation at the end of the play. If you want to keep working with this energy, both the replay and the offer go away. Wait and stay, so don't wait too long. Bored with your business? Quick check-in. Has business felt a little flat lately? Not bad, not broken, just bored and inspired, disconnected from the spark that used to make this fun. That doesn't mean you are doing anything wrong. It usually means you have been trying to run your business on for too long. And logic is brilliant. It is just not designed to bring inspiration, excitement, or flow back. So that's why I want you to what the was discussing with spirit. Something is missing in this email, and missing is that they are not showing what you are going to get after watching this. They are not showing exactly what need to do with it. It can be improved. Yes, I have deleted all the emails from. Yeah, that's brilliant idea. First, I will see. This is perfect idea, and just don't care how much I read. Just care how much. Hi. There was a moment during the scaling with spirit workshop when everything got quiet, and I was dozen of women from a smart strategic woman finally excelled for the first time in a long time. They first trusted themselves. It was incredible, namely because they got answer to long held question like what do I launch next, what products to shoot, what sport is needed next, what should I be changing, how do I get over feeling exhausted, but am I missing or not seeing? If you haven't registered yet for this workshop, then I invite you to ask yourself, am too jaded to believe that there could be an easier way? Because when you have your spiritual team on board, no matter what happens, you have the support and resilience to handle it. And in this, teach you how to access what you do have to register with this training, scaling with a spirit a business research. And if you are interested in getting a bonus personalized tarot reading with me, then hop on over there. So because that bonus ends today, February 20th, to get instant access to the free replay video experts next 29. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Register now so you can watch it. I don't like the emails, yeah. Clearly it's mismatching. I don't know what they're talking about. There was a moment during scaling with spirit workshop when everything got quiet. And I watched within a woman's more finally actually because for the first time in a long time they trusted themselves. It was incredible, namely because they got answer to long held questions like what do I learn drugs to shoot, but sport is needed next. What should I be changing? How do I get over feeling just what I'm missing or not seeing? If you haven't registered yet for this workshop, not sure, they are not clear. CD and then this is big and then not clear 30. Hey, we go live today at we go live today at can I divide you through these shifts from survival to body self trust and from this. I don't know what they want to say. It's not clear. not clear. Need to improve. Okay. Oh my god, I'm silent from a very long time. Hello, welcome to the live stream. Hit the like button.